The story you're about to hear is a true story. The professional manual, entertaining speech, project number 2, requires me to exaggerate and to dramatize. I will do that, but the story is 100% true, and the character names are real. I have not changed the character names. In 1972, I was 15 years old. The only Turkish student at the time at Dover Heights Boys High School in Sydney, Australia. One day, our health class teacher said, I'm giving all 24 students, all 24 boys in the class, an assignment to prepare a public speech about their hobby. The speech will last 10 minutes. You have 2 weeks to prepare the speech. In each class, 4 students. I will select them randomly, will do their speech at the blackboard. I will grade you, but there will also be a contest. You will vote for the best speaker, and we will choose the best 3 speeches based on your votes. A vote counter will go around and collect your votes. I said to myself, what has public speaking to do with a health class? But it's okay. It's my chance of lifetime. I'm going to show these suckers what a good speech is like. In fact, I'm going to deliver the best speech and I'm going to win. But there were 2 problems. One, it was going to be the first speech in my life. I didn't have any experience. And second, my English at that time was not good enough to deliver a speech about my hobby, which was astronomy, and still is, a complicated subject. So I had to find an easier subject for which my English was enough to make a speech. I thought about it for days, but I couldn't come up with a subject to make a speech. There were only a few days left and I still didn't choose my speech. And then I said, oh, okay. I will talk about sports. My English is enough to talk about sports. It's an easier subject than astronomy. But I couldn't prepare a speech. Days went by. There were only 2 days left. 2 days later, I was going to be one of the 4 boys who was going to deliver a speech in class. And I still didn't know what I was going to say about sports. Then a brilliant idea came into my mind. I said, okay, there's no need for me to prepare a speech. I will just pretend when the teacher calls me that the teacher is a table topics master. And I will pretend that I am in a table topics session, and I will just say anything that comes into my mind, and nobody will know that I have not prepared a speech. So, the big day came. We were sitting in class, just sitting, and I was just, my heart was racing, and I was shaking. I was really shaking. I hope he doesn't call me now. So every time he called somebody else, it was a relief. And I thought, when is he going to say Benson? When is he going to say? By the way, as you know, my last name is Bensan. I know many of you don't believe me, but I'm Turkish, and Bensan is a Turkish name. That's not a foreign name. But there is another surname close to Bensan. It's Benson. It's English. And there's only a 1-letter difference. O instead of an A. So in Australia, when they're formal, they don't call you by your first name. Nobody was calling me Rasih. Everyone was saying Benson, Benson, Benson. So, at last, he said, Benson. That's me, sir. Yeah, that's me. I know you are Benson, dummy. It's your turn to deliver the speech. Come to the board. I said, oh, sir, is it really my turn? No, it's your grandmother's turn. Of course it's your turn. Get to the board. So, I went to the board and I said, my hobby is sports. A kid, I don't remember his name, sitting in the front row, said, what? I said, sports. I'm going to deliver a speech about sports. Okay, so first I'm going to talk to you about soccer. By the way, soccer is the Australian word for European football. And as soon as I said soccer, there's this guy English, not Australian, English immigrant from Australia. His name was Gary Platt. This is his real name. I didn't make it up. Gary Platt. And he was the captain of the Dover Heights Boys High School soccer team, in which I was playing as well. He said, talk about Manchester United as well. He was a Manchester United fan. I said, okay, I'll talk about Manchester United. And I started drawing on the board the shape of, with a chalk, the shape of a soccer field. I said it's 90 meters, and it's usually grass. By the way, all the boys in the class knew how to play soccer. They knew everything about soccer, but I explained it to them as if they knew nothing about soccer. I said, it's played by 11 players on each team. It lasts 90 minutes, 45 minutes, 2 halves, a 10-minute intermission, and you're supposed to, there's a ball, actually. This is the ball. Yeah. This is a soccer ball. It's made of leather. It's round, and it's full of shit. Sorry, it's full of air. And you're supposed to kick this ball into the goal of the opposing team. And if you get it in, you get 1 point. And points in soccer I call goals. And all the boys were looking at me like this. I said, oh, I'm making connection. It's becoming a very good speech, and I'm going to win. I said, okay, that's fine. Now let me talk about basketball. When I said that, Gary Platt just jumped up. He said, you promised to talk about Manchester United. I said, oh, yes, I'm sorry. Yes, Manchester United is a very good team. He said, what do you mean Manchester United is a very good team? It's the best team in the world. I said, no, it's a very good team. But there is a better team than Manchester United. I said, how can that be? Who is better than Manchester United? I said, better than Manchester United is... It's Fenerbahce! And he said, what the hell is Fenerbahce? Nobody had heard of Fenerbahce in Australia. I said, it's the best soccer team in the world. It's a Turkish soccer team. When I said that, all the boys in the class went, boo! I said, hey, they're cheering for me. It's a good speech. I'm going to win. I was new in Australia. At that time, I didn't know that boo in English meant you in Turkish. I said, look, you people don't understand anything from my speech. I better teach you how to play basketball, soccer. I better show it to you. What you do is you take this ball, you try to go around, you know, what we call this chillum in Turkish. I don't know what you call it in English, but you try to go around, and then if you don't let the other people get the ball, because if they do, they might win. You want to win, so what do? You go, goal! Yes! Goal! Goal! Oh! 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 Now let me talk to you about basketball. Basketball is also played with a ball. It's also round. And it's also full of air, just like a soccer ball. But you don't kick it. You play it with your hands. And you don't play it on a soccer field. You play in a basketball court, which is smaller. And there are only 5 people in each team. So, what do? Well, there are not goals, but there are holes in the sky called baskets. And if you get them in through those holes, baskets, you get 2 points. But how do you play it? I've got to show it to you. You dribble it like this. You go around like this, and you try not to give it to the other people. Because if they do, they might win. And if you can't do this, because if you do that, that's double dribble or steps. Or you can pass it to your friends. But if you don't pass it, you go like this, and then you go, oh, oh, yes! 2 points! We got it! The teacher said, hey, Bensan! I said, yes, sir, yes, sir. What are you doing? I'm delivering my speech, sir. Do I look like an idiot to you, Bensan? That's not a speech. That's ridiculous. Sit down. But, sir, I haven't finished my speech. That's not a speech. I'm giving you 1 week. 1 week to prepare a proper speech. If you haven't prepared it by then, I'm going to flunk your pretty little ass. Oh, flunk my pretty little ass. That night, at home, my father asked me, hey, Rasih, how did your speech at school go? I said, My speech wasn't considered a speech. My teacher said, I'm giving you 1 week to prepare a speech. If you haven't prepared by then, I'm gonna flunk your ass. Don't worry, son. I will write you a speech, and you will read it in class, and you'll be okay. Oh, really, Dad? Will you do that? Yes, I'll do that for you, son. Oh, thank you, Dad. Thank you, Dad. You're welcome, son. And he did. He wrote me a speech. From Hayat Ansiklopedisi, Children's Encyclopedia, the chapter on birds. He translated from Turkish to English, which I read in class. We were allowed to read our speeches from paper. When the teacher called me this time, he said, "Hey, Benson, it's your turn. This is your second and last chance. Don't fuck it up this time." Yes, sir. So I came, and I read the speech that my father had written for me. And at the end of the speech, the teacher said, "Good speech, Benson. You pass." I did not make it into the first 3 speeches, but I passed. And this was my first public speaking experience. At the age of 15, in 1972, in Dover Heights Boys School, Sydney, Australia. This is a dramatized, exaggerated, but a 100% true story. Thank you.